So Bangalore, earlier, before I left, it was called as Pensioners Paradise and a garden city, and also a lake city you can call, full of lakes and gardens and all that.
Yeah.
Now I find after when I came back in 1989, 90, it was all jungle, concrete jungle, and also garbage city you can call. Because so I tried first my area. My area was really miserable area, and so many people not knowing somewhere there was a railway line there. Railway line is full of garbage from the streets. So then I thought of doing some patrolling and all that on my own, and try to, so many times I followed the maid servant to their house also, though didn't like. And I had a lot of arguments with the housewives and ladies and all that, but I didn't care for all that. Then the commissioner, BBMP commissioner, was very confident that I will try to do something. That time, of course, Mr. Jairaj was the commissioner. And I can say that I worked with almost 8 to 9 the corporation commissioners. So with the result, everybody knew my work. So, and there was one Kalyana Mandap in our area. All the time, they used to put all the plantain leaves after food and all that. Adjacent to that, there was a college, very busy college, Shetadipuram College. They used to throw everything there. 2-3 times I told him, don't throw it there because that is this thing there. Proper BBMP fellows will come to you and see that this thing. Because that time still I was not sure of zero waste management. After that, I would have given him another lecture on zero waste, at least proper disposal. So then, of course, those days there was not much of plastic. It was all plantain leaves and all that. So with these plantain leaves, 2 times, 3 times I told, he didn't listen. Then what I did, when a busy wedding time, when the house was full, that time I took 3 or 4 power karmikas with me, threw all the dirt, plantain leaves, everything inside the Kalyana Mandap. This man he must have thought that I have gone crazy. Then the person who is doing the marriage came out and told me, sir, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Marriage is going on. Then see, if you do continue to do this, I can inform the commissioner that such and such a gentleman is coming to trouble us. You are free to tell, sir, but what you are doing is all nonsense. You are trying to do the wedding and others are suffering. Yeah. Then after that, believe me, not a single leaf used to go out. This is the way I used to handle this thing. And another thing, for getting proofs, those times now, wherever garbage is lying there, before it is loaded, I used to go with a hand gloves and rake. See the whole thing, some bill or something, if you get, take that bill and go to that place and the concerned place and then play hell with them. So this way I started tackling. And of course, I became unpopular in the beginning. But after that, some like-minded people. Then I formed an RWA, Resident Welfare Association. Right. Then I met Dr. Meenakshi Bharat. Like me only, I should say. She was also very daredevil type. She was not caring for anybody. And she was the secretary of Malleshwaram Association that year. So then I met that another great German lady, the founder, you can say, of Mariam Shankar. Every Saturday, Sunday, she used to put on the Facebook that I'm going to clean this area, I'm going to clean this area, I'm going to all over Bangalore. One day, Kabal Park, when she was doing that, I myself also, I joined there. Then I asked him, what are you doing, madam? This is all cleaning one place. And instead of that, let us join together. Then we made a joint team, you can say. So this Meenakshi Bharat, Sandhya Narayan, Vani Murthy, myself, and there were another 2-3, Anjana Iyer also was there. Like that, people were there. So about 8 of us joined. Then the first thing we did was, I made them visit the landfills. Landfills, when you visit, you can imagine what is the fate of waste management. Yeah. So then we started, every Tuesday we used to have a meeting. in that conference room of our Mariam Shankar, and we called it a solid waste management roundtable. So then we started slowly. Every Tuesday we used to discuss a strategy. And then we met Mr. Yellappa Reddy, another environmentalist, and a retired forest officer and all that. He was the Lok Adalat member, technical member. And then we took this case to see, unless we can teach segregation, that segregated waste, how to take it to the proper destination, how to take it to the proper recycling and all, is again a proper study has to be done. For this, we went to him and got an order passed from Lok Adalat that every ward should have a dry waste collection center. Chief engineer was particular that we should give the design also to him, because he had never heard of dry waste collection center. Then he made the design and it was all done. So dry waste collection center was the first. Then what we did, we wanted a construction and all will take time, passing and all that. So empty sheds I started searching. In Malleshwaram, there was the market. There was some 6-7 sheds they had constructed for vendors to go inside. Unfortunately, the vendors never went because that is not on the road, that is on the side. Then I started scratching the head of Joint Commissioner. So every time I visit him, I used to talk about taking that shed for me for storing the dry waste. He got fed up with me. I said, every day you are coming and taking my head. So finally, the dry waste collection center was started. That was very near to Dr. Meenakshi Bharat's house also. And for me also, it is not very far, but easy for supervision. Yeah. Then we caught hold of 2-3 rickshaw owners who were owning rickshaws. Then we started apartments slowly. Malleshwaram apartments, Yelahanka apartments and all we started collecting from there and bringing it to the dry waste collection center. And then that time what happened, coincidentally, the vice president of the ITC, who was also the chairman of the paper division, came to Bangalore, and in Windsor Manor, he gave a talk on paper and other industries. So then he called me also because I was the president of the association for almost 10 years. So he called me. So then he said, I was surprised to know that for paper mills, they are importing 40 to 50% of paper comes from outside. That is outside the country. And unfortunately, we were throwing everything in the streets, littering and all that, making the street dirty and look bad. So then I told him, if you can help me, then I can organize in a small way now for the present, and we can do it. That time, what we did, that myself and Meenakshi Bharat took over you can say, they were not ready to appoint a manager there, just for our experiment. Then we used to collect all the data, keep all the material there, sort it out, and ITC used to take the paper and plastic and other things that vendor used to give it locally. This was the arrangement. Like this, we started about almost total about 100 apartments, you can say roughly, and started doing this. And after all this starting, then once in 3 months, the manager used to come from Coimbatore and he used to settle all the accounts, but we were not paying him a rickshaw driver or anybody financial. So everything was done by them. We were only advisors and coordinators, so to say. Used to come once in 3 months, stay in a hotel for 2 days. And I remember even today, myself and Meenakshi Bharat used to go and explain the whole thing to him along with the contractor. Otherwise, who will believe a contractor? Yeah. So we used to go and explain to him, this is where he has brought and all that. And this is the quantity he has brought. And this is the quantity you have taken for recycling. And this thing. That way, we could prove that something can be done to decrease the import. Then all this data was supplied to the Lok Adalat. And once they saw all this data, then they could realize that it is necessary of dry waste collection center. This is how the dry waste collection center was born first in India, I can say. Bangalore. Other places they were keeping, I think they didn't call that name, but we called, they gave a name and given to them. So this is one thing. Next tackling was Shivaji Nagar football stadium. Below the stairs, there was huge place. There was more than about 10,000 square feet. And where all antisocial activities was going on. Drug pieces, here, everything, cigarettes, bottles, all full of that. You could not even go inside. That time, Mr. Siddhaya was a commissioner. So we visited that place. I showed him the nuisance which they are creating. Then I told him I can utilize this place if you give me before you start constructing and all that. Then he readily agreed. He was anything suggestion I gave, he used to agree. So that was one great achievement I had. So then I started, we started storing there. There we had a bigger area and people could sort it out and we could employ more vehicles to collect from other apartments in that area. Benson Town, Richards Town, all those places. Then whenever we had to start these operations, I had to go and give an awareness program and all that. Because anywhere in Malleshwaram, of course, they were looking after. Vani Murthy was there, Sanjay Narayan was there, they were doing it. But wherever other places, I used to travel and tell them the advantages and all that. For all this landfill. And then, of course, in 2012, Solid Waste Management Roundtable, we went on a public interest litigation against the municipality or corporation, stating that it is they are mishandling the solid waste management and that has to be rectified. There again, every month there used to be arguments, and it so happened that normally in high courts, you must be knowing only the lawyer talks this thing. The other commoners are not allowed to talk and all that or argue. But that Justice Kumar was so good because the subject was new. He used to always insist that myself and Dr. Almitra Patel should attend the meetings, all hearings. So we used to explain to him, this is the type of thing we are doing. And especially 2 bin 1 bag, I even now remember that Lalita Monreti, one of our other members, she brought 2 bin and put it on his table. And it was all shown to him how this thing is there. Then the law was passed. And another thing was, every Saturday, Sunday, he used to visit we were telling stories about apartments and all that. He used to go to the apartments, and even the biogas plant by that time in Yelahanka was ready. So there we used to go. And I used to show him everything. I used to accompany him every Sunday almost. He and Justice Nagaratna used to accompany me. And because anything, solid waste management for any judge is completely new. So nobody knew about it. Unless somebody accompanies and tells them. And we had the figures also. So with this, we could convince him. And he passed orders every month almost. He didn't close the case. He went on passing orders. And then that all became in 2016, solid waste management rules it became. So for all over India. And which even now, Swachh Bharat Mission, we are learning and they are trying to put everything in place.